Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for Man of the Year. My name's Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. To play this song the easiest, we need a capo on the 3rd fret. If you're in need of a capo, there is a link to one in the description below, so feel free to check that out. But let's start with the opening of the song, which is an introduction, and we have 3 different chords we need to play. Chord number 1 is an E minor chord, which is an open E string. This is in reference to the capo. 2-2 on the A and D strings, and then 0 on the 3 remaining strings. We'll talk about strumming and structure afterwards, but let's get through the 3 chords we need for the start. G major is the next chord, which is 3 on the E string, 2 on the A, 0, 0, 0 on the D, G and B, and then a 3 on the high E. You are welcome to play G with your ring finger on the B string, fret 3. There's just 2 different voicings for G. Go with whichever one you find the easiest, they're largely the same. So the last chord we need is a C major chord, which is 3 on the A string, 2 on the D, an open G, 1 on the B, and an open E string. We don't play this low E string. So what's going to happen is every chord gets 6 beats, however the C chord is going to be doubled up. Now the E minor, we have 6 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what we're going to do is hammer on those 2 notes of the E minor. So you can see slowly, I'm doing that at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you carefully watch my plectrum hand, my right hand, I'm strumming up and down for the first part. I do the same thing with G major, but this is the finger that I'm going to hammer on, the 2 on the A string. And then I do the same for the C major with this finger. So to slowly put all of that together for the introduction, we have this. Now it's well worth getting really used to those chords because we're going to be seeing that set of chords a bunch in this song. In fact, for the introduction, we play through those chords 2 times. We then get to the first verse, and the great news is we carry on with the exact same chords 4 more times around. That's just when Sam starts singing, if I can get my words out. And yeah, we just keep playing the same thing. Now it's worth mentioning that we're also palm muting through this. So that means just taking this part of your hand, resting it just past the saddle on the strings here, just very lightly. Instead of having full on strumming, we're having... We won't be palm muting through the full song, but through this first verse we will be. Now just before I show you the chorus, which brings in a new chord and a new chord progression, if you're interested in getting the chord chart for this song, which has every chord with the full structure, as well as a separate sheet with the chords and lyrics matched up, let's say you're singing along or playing along and you need to know which chord goes with which word, head on over to Patreon. There's a link in the description, and for the price of a coffee you get access to not only this song, but to well over 500 songs of all the latest releases over the past few years. Now the chorus, we're going to not palm mute, so normal strumming for this, and we start off with E minor, to G, to C, to this chord here, A minor, which is an open A string, 2-2 on the D and G, 1 on the B, and an open E string. We don't play the low E string, and sometimes you'll see when I play A minor, my thumb just creeps over the top, lightly touches, so if I catch it, you're not going to hear it. You just get that muted sound. So I'm going to play through those chords again, but watch what happens when I go from C major to A minor. There's something very subtle that happens in the track. We have a passing note, well a passing chord really, from the C, take that ring finger away, middle finger goes up to fret 2, it's what we call a C/B, and then it goes to the A minor. It's a really subtle thing, but you can hear it quite clearly on the track. So make sure that you include that if you can. Let me just demonstrate those chords one more time where I shout out the chords as I move to them. E minor, G major, C major, passing chord, A minor. And if we play those chords 3 times round, we get ourselves the first chorus. Now at this point, we kind of get a little bit of repetition. There is an interlude after that. It's just the part after the chorus. And looking over to my notes, it is E minor to G and 2 lots of C. A bit like the introduction, and we'll play through that 2 times. In fact, looking over at the notes again, there is a second verse, which is E minor, G, 2 lots of C, 4 times round, just like the first verse. There is also a chorus, which is the same set of chords with the A minor, 4 times round. We then have a bridge section. Now the bridge section is the same as the chorus, 2 times round. And then there's an outro, which is the same as the chorus, 3 times round. So basically, you just have to work out whether you're playing a verse part or a chorus part, which has the A minor at the end. But like I said, over on Patreon, we've got sheets for that. So yeah, you can follow along that way. But yes, that is a pretty straightforward song. There's not a huge amount going on. So if you did find that useful, please do like and subscribe. It really, really helps out the channel. And if you are interested in that extra material over on Patreon, links are in the description for that. So thank you very much for watching. I also want to say thanks to the people on the screen who are my active patrons. The moment this video goes live, they will get access to that content that I mentioned earlier immediately. But yes, thanks to them for their support, and I'll catch you all in the next one.